What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another new Comic Book Day haul. I am your host, AR Comics, and in today's episode, I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, November 10th, 2021. This was an awesome week for new comics. We had a lot of new series that came out. Image, Boom Studios had some new ones. Marvel released its highly anticipated Venom issue number 1, and I picked up a grail that I cannot wait to show off to you guys. But before I get started off on this week's top 10 list, as always, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that's going to keep you up to date on all of the latest releases. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's talk about this week's top 10 list. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day so far today. The winner of last week's giveaway, the Magic Order, issue number 1, and the Absolute Comics lot is Edgar Black. Congratulations on winning, and make sure you comment down below on my pinned comment so we can discuss how I'm going to be getting these books out to you. So as far as this week's New Comic Book Day goes, honestly, I thought it was a really good one. I picked up a total of 12 different issues, plus a grail that I'm going to be showing off a little bit later. But you know what that means. 2 of them did not make the top 10 list, and as always, as I go through these books, there's probably going to be spoilers. I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up. I'm going to put a little tag down at the bottom when the spoilers are about to happen, but just be aware, I get really excited talking about some of these books, so it's going to happen. These 2 books, they're in no particular order. The first one that did not make the top 10 list is Image's A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, issue number 2. I was really looking forward to this issue. I liked the first one. It didn't have a lot of dialogue, but based on the artwork and how the story was portrayed, I was really interested in it. This second issue, I thought it was okay. We still don't have a lot of info, another issue of not a lot of dialogue, but I'm in this one for the long run. This is a new ongoing series from Image, so I'm going to wait to see how this one goes. It just wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. The second issue that did not make the top 10 list this week is Image's Stillwater, issue number 11. This is a series that I've been very back and forth on, but honestly, as of late, it's just not really doing it for me. I've talked to a lot of other people who still love the series, but right now, I might end up dropping it if it stays on this pace for a couple more issues, and then I'll just end up picking up a trade paperback or a hardcover format of it and just reread it all at once. But those are the only 2 that did not make the top 10 list, so now let's move on to the real list. Alright, so to kick this top 10 list off first, we've got coming in at number 10, this is Image's Undiscovered Country, issue number 17. This is cover A, and honestly, this really wasn't that bad of an issue. Usually when an Undiscovered Country issue pops up, I'm always really hyped for it. I've always got really positive things to say about it, but admittedly, this zone, I've talked about it before, is probably my least favorite zone that we've seen so far. The whole creativity, creation zone, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it. I like those first couple issues. It kind of got me hyped for it. But since then, it slowed down a little bit, and I was hoping that they wouldn't stick on it for too much longer. But after reading this issue, I think we're going to be stuck in this zone for a little bit still. So this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler. It picks up where the last one left off. We've got our main group, and now they're going to be making a deal with the devil. And that's always a bad thing, obviously. But this time, it kind of sounds like it's going to be making sense to the main group. I want to see where they go with this. I'm interested in it again, and like I said, this issue really wasn't all that bad. It's just I want to see more done with the zones, so I've got high hopes for the next few issues. So for those reasons, we've got Undiscovered Country, issue number 17, coming in at number 10. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 9, this is Marvel's Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 32. This is cover A, and I actually really like this whole issue up until pretty much the end of it. I'd say overall is a very well-rounded issue. We got a lot of action, we got some plot progression, Ironheart made a little cameo, and we really got to see what everybody was up to. So this is going to be the spoiler part of it. What I didn't like was towards the end, how everything from the last few issues has been all revolving around Taskmaster. Taskmaster captured Starling, and now the whole thing is we need to get her back. It kind of ended with him checking his alarm, and it was like, oh, well, now I'm done here. I'm not getting paid for this. And you kind of had this what moment, and then they brought the Beyond Corporation in, so this next issue is going to be tied in with the Amazing Spider-Man. Not sure how I feel about that, but like I said, overall is a very solid issue up until the very end. So for those reasons, we've got Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 32, coming in at number 9. And now we have coming in at number 8 this week, this is Image's brand new series, What's the Furthest Place from Here? Issue number 1, this is cover A for it. This is a really weird issue to me. I'm not entirely sure I know what I read. It was a very long issue. I like the artwork, the storytelling was good, even though we didn't have a lot of info on pretty much anything happening at all. There's a lot of different groups, we don't know what happened to the world, we don't know who any of these people are pretty much. We do have some names, but we don't have a backstory on literally anybody. And then they kind of started introducing us to a little bit more things, they're progressing the plot a little bit, but we still don't have literally any sort of backstory. The one thing that I didn't like about this issue was kind of how it was set up in chapters. Like I said, it was a very long issue, and it almost felt like every other page it said like now chapter 2. So it kind of took away from the main story, but overall, I'd say give it a shot if you had a light week. It was a very interesting read. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this story. But like I said, it was very weird, and I'm not entirely sure I even know what I read because we don't have a lot of backstory on literally any of the characters or any of the events that happened. So for those reasons, we've got Images. What's the furthest place from here? Issue number 1 coming in at number 8. Next up, we've got coming in at number 7. This is AWA's Out, issue number 2. This is cover A, and this has been such a fun read so far. I've got very high expectations for this one, and I can't wait to see where they go with the rest of this series. This issue, we got a little bit more story on pretty much everybody, kind of what everyone's plans are, the different factions amongst everybody, because obviously this is kind of a concentration camp. The Nazis are running everything, so we see people who are in the camp trying to escape. We saw a lot more of the monster, kind of who's controlling it, and a little bit of backstory on that. I'm really excited to see where they go with this one. Let's talk about this one a little bit more down low, because if I talk about it a little bit more, I feel like it's going to spoil the entire issue. So for those reasons, we've got AWA's Out, issue number 2, coming in at number 7. And now we have coming in at number 6 this week, this is Marvel's Alien, issue number 8. This is cover A for it, and I still remember picking up the first issue for this series, and I thought to myself as I was looking at it, this series is going to suck. I had no expectations for it. I truly thought Marvel was going to botch it and just not really do a good job with it. But every time I finish one of these issues, I think to myself, man, this is so good. Every issue feels like a nice little complete story. We've got action, we've got more background story on some of the characters, and we have plot progression as well. I highly recommend checking out this series, and if you haven't read the first arc, I'd say you really don't have to read it. Everything has been just a complete focus on what's happening right now. So the newest arc started on issue number 6. Just pick that one up and we can go from there. But man, I really want to know more about this kind of cult people that live on this planet. What's going on with the aliens? Everyone seems to have their own little motive right now. I highly suggest checking it out. So for those reasons, we've got Alien issue number 8 coming in at number 6. And here we go. We're down to the top 5 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is Marvel's The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 78. This is cover A, and this is another series that continues to blow my mind for Marvel right now. I gave up reading, I think, around issue number 50 from the last volume, so I don't really know how it all ended, but once we got a new writing team on it, I picked it up. Still had almost zero expectations, and man, every single issue has been awesome to me, and this one is no different. I love the artwork, I love the storytelling, and just the plot progression that they're doing in some of these issues. I'm really invested in this story, it feels like. So this issue, this is going to be a spoiler, picks up where the last one left off, and basically the whole thing was kind of an action issue between our new Spider-Man. If you're not reading it, I'm not going to spoil that for you. But we've got our new Spider-Man fighting Morbius the whole time, getting us pumped up for the new Morbius movie. And speaking of, let's talk about that trailer down low, because that one looks awesome in my opinion. So that's pretty much what this issue was. There was a lot of action, but then we see the Beyond Corporation a little bit towards the end, and they've got something up their sleeve. They got some other plans for our Spider-Man. I'm invested. I'm really interested to see what they do with this one. So for those reasons, we've got The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 78, coming in at number 5. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is Boom Studios' brand new series. We've got Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, issue number 1. This is cover A. I thought this was a very well done issue. It was a little bit more on the longer side. I like the artwork. I love just the overall way the story was told. But I have talked to quite a few people who really weren't that big of fans of this issue. So maybe I'm just a history fan and that's where I made the connection. But another thing it kind of reminded me of is if you're a Rick and Morty fan, I believe it's the Heist issue where they go around and just recruit all these different people to their new team, and they're just like, you son of a bee, I'm in. That's kind of how this issue read a little bit. Not exactly that same way, but we have a lot of backstory on all of the characters that got introduced to us, and it's just that main character creating a team amongst all of those people we get introduced to. Definitely give it a shot. Let me know what you thought about it down low, but for those reasons, we've got Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, issue number 1, coming in at number 4. Here we go. We're down to top 3 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is Marvel's Strange Academy, issue number 13. This is cover A, and I continue to love this series. I think it's so good. Scotty Young is absolutely killing it in my opinion. This has been one of my favorite issues that I've read from this series in a while now. So this issue, it felt very complete. We got all the characters are kind of off doing all of their own things to an extent. It's mainly the main group, And then Emily Bright, she's kind of doing something that she's been building up to this whole time. I don't want to spoil what that is. We got introduced, more of a cameo to a couple new characters, and then another character got introduced that's from an older Doctor Strange series. But man, we got to see everybody, what they're up to. We got some nice plot progression, and I'm definitely excited to see these next coming issues. So for those reasons, we've got Strange Academy issue number 13 coming in at number 3. Down to the top 2 issues we've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Marvel's brand new series. We got Venom issue number 1. This is cover A, but not only did I pick up cover A, I grabbed the blank sketch variant for this one, and now here we go, the big one of the day. We got ASM 300, first appearance of Venom. I saw it on the shelf at my LCS. I thought to myself, what better day to get it than the day the new Venom series releases? It was a great price. Thank you so much, New World Comics in Oklahoma City. I love that shop. Such an awesome group of guys, and this was a phenomenal price on it. I'd say it's probably around a 6, 6.5, maybe after a clean and press. Maybe it could push a 7, but I am so happy to have a higher grade of this in my collection. Once COVID kind of kicked off, I sold my lower grade. It was probably like a 3, maybe a 4. It had some water damage, and I just was really looking for a nice upgrade. So thank you again, New World Comics in Oklahoma City. If you're ever out that way, you need to go check them out. As far as this issue goes, I was really hyped for it. I kind of kept my expectations a little bit lower just because I didn't want to ruin it for myself, but I really liked it. I thought it was a great first issue. I really liked the setup of it. The artwork is great. And we got Rom V, Al Ewing on it. It's a good tag team right there, and I'm really excited to see where they can go with this story with Dylan Brock. And we did have a first appearance at the end of it. Kind of a cameo, but it comes down to what you think of a first appearance, whether it's cameo, first appearance. We had someone on the last page, the name got introduced. I'd say it's a first appearance in my book. I want to talk about this one a lot more down low in the comment section. I do not want to spoil this one at all. And with that, we've got Venom issue number 1 coming in at number 2. And this is it, my top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week, and I'm sure a lot of you thought it was probably going to be Venom. It was tough to not put it at number 1, but I'm obsessed with this series right now. We've got Dark Horses, Maze Book, issue number 3. This is cover A. This has been such a phenomenal series, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of Jeff Lemire, though, so I'm extremely biased on this one, although I have talked to a ton of people who love this series, too. But that's why I'm saying take it with a grain of salt. I think I'm a little biased towards this because I'm a huge fan of Jeff Lemire as a writer, and this series is just so him right now. So with this issue, it picks up where the last one left off. It's going to be a little bit more of a spoiler, but we're getting so much more info on this maze. He's our main character. He's kind of figured things out, and he's trying to figure out what to do next. And he does. And I can't wait to see what this new Maze World, Maze Book is. It's going to be awesome. I love this series. Please check it out if you haven't already done it. But for those reasons, we've got Maze Book issue number 3 coming in at number 1. So what do you guys think about this week's new comic book day? Such an awesome week for books. We have a little something for everybody. Image, boom, came out with some new series. Marvel released its highly anticipated Venom issue number 1. And you DC fans, I know you guys had some really good books that came out this week too. But I picked up a lot of stuff. And then I picked up ASM 300, so I couldn't spend that extra money. I shouldn't have even spent that money. But when I saw it, I knew I had to get it. And with that, you know what time it is. This week's giveaway. This week, I'm going to be giving away Marvel's Venom issue number 1. It was an awesome read. You guys need to check it out. Plus, it had a first appearance. So with this giveaway, all you have to do is comment down below what your favorite issue of the week was and make sure you're subbed up to the channel. And with that, if we can get this video to 400 likes, I'm going to be adding another key in there as well. And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.